So, probably nobody else actually hikes for corduroy, but check it out. These two turns are some of the smoothest untouched corduroy, steep and narrow. Gotta love it. And then by turn 3, oh, I'm in the chop. There it is. That's how it goes when you don't get up early. This is 11 a.m. 2 days ago on the hot sauce. It's, getting springy up here. Getting a little sloppy, but this is an awesome board. Today I want to rant. I don't know how long it's going to go. I have a lot to say. I'm going to try to do this all in one take, no notes, because it doesn't sound right when I script it out and try to read it. I'm not an actor. And here it is, off the cuff. But before the rant begins, I have a little business to attend to. That board I'm riding in this video, this is the latest JCJ Anderson prototype. He has promised me 30 boards for next season, and I have already sold 19. There are 11 left. If you want one, get it now at carversconnection.com. As soon as these last 11 are sold, I am shutting her down for the season. I'm going to focus on riding and some other things. This whole YouTube and website thing has actually been a lot of work, and it's taken away from my enjoyment of snowboarding. It's starting to feel like a job, and I promised myself and Martina I'd never let it get to that. So please buy these last 11. Let me move on with other things, and we'll catch up in a month or two. So what do we want to talk about here? Let's talk, the business, right? Let's get to the website on the boards, carversconnection.com. Okay, I lied. I do have a couple notes, but it's like 4 lines here. Carversconnection.com. What are we offering? We are trying to get into your hands the equipment, the knowledge that you need to up your carving level. Okay? So like I said, I have 11 boards left for next season. I have, some of it's sold out, but we'll have soon. Boot stiffeners, straps, risers. We're working on some cant plates as well, so you can get the cant and lift and the rise under your binding without having to make any modifications inside the binding. Yeah, I got a crew of volunteers. Everybody's working together. Everybody's working hard. We're all trying to, fill this gap. Fill this gap where the industry doesn't want to make you carving gear or doesn't want to bring it to North America. Well, we're trying to do it for you. It wasn't easy. Get JCJ to promise me 30 boards, but I got them. I don't know what's going to happen to the waiting list, but I know that these 30 lucky riders will have boards for next season. This is Daniel. Check this out. So he's not on the prototype. He's on a different JCJ board that we both agreed he was ready to try. And this one has a 16.5 meter side cut. It's massive. It's fast. This run, by the way, this is a Revelstoke Blue. Look at the steepness. That turn in particular is one of the steepest turns anywhere. And Daniel is just crushing it on this board. This board here will hold so much speed and edge pressure before it gives out. It's like in a category all its own. Daniel loved it. This is his second run on this board, and I think I cut the audio out of this, but right at the end of this clip, he's like, okay, I'm buying it. He loves it. Loves it. What else is happening on this website? So we've got a forum, we've got some products for sale, we've got a lot of interesting knowledge, and more than that, back to the proto here. This is me riding the proto. I felt like that hot sauce run was a lot of, jarring whatnot. I wanted to show how smooth this board could be too, but the snow is already getting soft. It's a bit slow. I'm not getting as much lean as I had hoped out of this, but that's it. I think we're done filming for the year. So you get what you get. The next clip also is Daniel on the proto, but this is only 2 runs in, and this was on the first day, so judge accordingly. What are we talking about? Yes, that's what I wanted to mention, is if you upload video of yourself riding to my forum, I will give you personal feedback. Plus, the community I expect that we're building here at carversconnection.com will also give you feedback. And, it's not just me. I'm not the only expert out there, and mine is not the only opinion that's important or valid. But for right now today, especially if you're watching my video, I'm the loudest voice in your ear. So there it is. But there's a great community already on this little forum. thanks to Board Doctor, Riot Supercarver, Aussie Rob, Winter Vince, and sorry, too many to mention, but it's been great. It's been great, and yeah, we're getting a lot of knowledge together, and we're doing it in a way that's, how should we say, friendlier than some other forums, you know, a little less ego, a little less vitriol. We'll get back to the forums later. That's also a part of this rant. But that's it. Please check out the website, upload your video. I will get to it, probably not this week, but I will get to it depending on how many we get. I can't promise to do them all, but I will get to some or most of your video. Please, no selfie stick video. It's just, there's too much warping. I can't see what's going on. I can't see the background. Get a friend to record you. This stuff is all on the Insta360. It's fine. This would be perfect for analysis. Fixed cam works even, well, just as good. You know, 3 or 4 turns, and give you some tips. Yeah, that's what we're working on. That's the website, carversconnection.com. Now then, let's get to the rant, hey? So there was another rant full of anger and raw emotion and truth. And I kind of liked it. And to be honest, it had the highest audience retention of any of my YouTube videos. However, a friend called me out on it, and he said, you know, this is the wrong approach, James. We don't need this anger. We don't need all this cussing. And frankly, you know, you're being arrogant. You should really show some humility. And yeah, so I took that rant down. It's only got 149 views. I doubt anybody downloaded it, so it probably will never be seen again. But this is the new rant. I'm trying to be a little more polite, a little more focused, a little more organized. I did make half a page of notes. Yeah, the new rant. When this stuff starts to interfere with my personal friendships in real life, okay, that's when I know I've gone too far. Okay, the internet stuff is just internet stuff. It's not real important. But yeah, when a real life friend has an issue with what I'm posting, gone too far. So these are some of the themes I want to get to in this rant. First of all, in regards to the industry, boards are too small, equipment is not sufficient. It needs modifications. You need custom boards to be riding at this level. Okay, bottom line. Second of my theses here that I want to talk about over this rant is that carving is not that hard. The problem is, good equipment is just not available, and proper instruction is just not available. So I'm doing my part here to change that, right? I've made all my best tips available for free on YouTube, of course, to anybody who's interested. And in fact, a whole new carving curriculum with a new vocabulary. It's not just a 5-minute video tips on how to carve. It's a lot more than that. And I'm bringing you through this website. I'm bringing you the equipment you need. The equipment you need to you know, modify your gear. Let's get those bindings higher. Let's get them canted. Let's get those boots stiffer. And let's get the wider boards with the right materials under your feet. What else here? Let's start with this, shall we? There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 companies that are making wide boards that will make you anything above, let's say, 28.5. I think 28.6 actually is the largest Never Summer production board. And as far as I know, there is nothing wider available out there at all, except for these 5 companies. 6 companies. Coiler, JCJ Anderson, Pryor, Winterstick, Exegi, and Donick. Okay, so, oh, hey, check this out. This is just beautiful. He just follows me right in on a heel side for a nice 360. We're going all the way around. Look at this track. Look at this track as we come out of this. There it is. Boom, boom, 1, 2. Beautiful. Love it. Anyway, we're talking about these. I got to switch up here because this video is over. What's the next one here? This one. It's me and Martina. Actually, this is the day we met Daniel last year when he had an Insta360. He's like, oh, I'll film you guys. And I'm like, okay, awesome. Yeah, we don't really have any video of us riding together. We're always filming each other. We're both on Never Summers here. I thought maybe I could work out something, you know, whereby I'd be promoting Never Summers. And They did give me a free board, but it wasn't the board I wanted. I wanted a double DF East in their largest size. I thought that would have been a wicked carver. I could get some decent video for them riding that thing, but yeah, whatever. Haven't heard back. That's okay. I thought they were doing great. They're making the widest production boards out of anybody, but they're not the best carvers, you know? And I thought we could do some tweaks and work out something. I had in my mind visualizing this, oh yeah, we'll call it the Cherry Bomb. It'll be the James Cherry Pro model and fulfill my childhood dream, you know, when it was like, when it was the Craig Kelly Mystery Air or something, and I dreamed one day there'd be the James Cherry Mystery Air or whatever. Nonetheless, that didn't happen. Never Summer makes nice wide boards. I think the width is the limiting factor for most people who are trying to carve, right? Especially if you have normal or large size feet. So yeah, so that's why I ride Never Summers. They're great all mountains, not the best carvers, nowhere close to the league of my metal boards. But yeah, since we're talking about board manufacturers, let's start there, okay? And where should we go from there? Let's okay, so I got 6. Coiler, JCJ Anderson, Pryor, Winterstick, Exegi, and Donick. Of these 6, so these are the only 6, to my knowledge, who have made a waist width or a total board width wider than Never Summer production boards, like the Triple Camber, Proto FR, or whatever, DF, right? Anyway, so of these 6, these 4, Coiler, JCJ, Pryor, and Winterstick are making out of metal. Exegi and Donick are not making metal boards. So there's going to be a huge difference in performance there, okay? Huge difference. So right away, if you're looking, well, basically, let me just cut to the chase. If you're looking for high performance, wide, carving specific boards, there are really only 2 companies doing it in metal. That's Coiler and JCJ. Exegi and Donick make them cheaper. They don't use metal. I would definitely, I've ridden both. I've ridden over a dozen Donicks and only a handful of Exegis, but I had my own Exegi, custom built by Carl, and I tell you hands down, in my experience, there is no question Exegi makes the better board. Check out exegi.ca. That's where you want to be. So what's up with Donick? What happened to Donick? Well, I don't know for sure, and I don't want to get sued for defamation, but the story I've heard is that Donick tried to make a few boards with metal and they had delamination problems. But instead of trying to figure out how to make it work, lots of other companies are making it work, they just decided to go a different route. Now, again, I'm just guessing, but in my mind, I figure Sean Martin, owner of Donick, figures that you guys aren't going to know the difference because there's nothing else available. These other guys are small. They're just small brand. They're not big competition for Donick. So if nobody knows the difference, he can continue to sell boards and he doesn't have to worry about warranties with delamination from his metal boards. But like I say, I've ridden over a dozen Donicks. The performance is just not there. There's no comparison. There's really no comparison. Donick makes more boards than anybody. Donick makes wider boards than anybody, but Exegi can also make as wide as Donick, or so he says. Yeah, the metal boards are limited to 340 millimeters in the shovel. So you add in your side cut and you figure out what that is in waist width and what that is underfoot. But there's limits there. For now, at least, nobody is making a metal board wider than 340, maybe 344 with the edges, if you ask extra nice. But that's maximized, right? But yeah, Donick, Exegi, they don't work with metal, so there's no limit on their widths, which is fantastic. And, I can see why Ryan Napton likes a Donick. It makes a lot of sense for his style. When he's doing flips and spins and ground tricks and all this stuff, he needs a lighter board. Yeah, the glass boards are definitely lighter than the metal boards. But for me, I want to challenge the steepest groomers I can find. And the edge hold of the metal boards is so far superior to the fiberglass that there's no question for me. I mean, for me, Donick's going to max out on a blue, on a Revelstoke blue. And that's it. I mean, I can push extra hard and try to hold it. I can do a, Eurocar style down unweighted turn, scrub some speed, drag my body, make it look cool, but it's not fun. It's not the satisfying turn I want, right? I want to minimize that snow displacement. Here, look at this. This section, this is a Revelstoke Blue. Can you believe this? This is a blue run in Revelstoke. This is steeper than black runs, than the hardest black run in many, many resorts. What are we talking about? We're talking about boards. So, yeah, Donic, Exegi.ca, really. That's, yeah, they're cheaper than the JCJ Anderson boards I'm selling. Yeah, and they're wider. So if you have big feet, you're a size 12, size 13, go to Exegi.ca, get yourself a custom board from Carl. Anyway, Winterstick and Pryor, I've spoken to representatives of both companies. My understanding is they're not really making wide boards. I mean, they max out at that same 340 in the shovel as Coiler and JCJ Anderson do, and they'll make a few one-off customs, but they're not doing any prototypes in these widths. They don't really see the potential there, and frankly, neither of them is really making a free carve specific board, right? They're taking race boards. Now you want a free carver, okay, we'll detune it a little bit, we'll take out some materials, we'll make it lighter, we'll, make it softer, whatever. But these are race shapes, these are race designs, detuned, and they call it a free carver. What Coiler has done with the Contra is they have made a board specific for free carving. It's not a race board, it's a free carving board, okay? What's the difference? Well, on a race board, it's designed intentionally to get you to the finish line as quick as possible, right? Open turn shape, fast between edges, blah, blah, blah. I'm not a race board designer. The free carving boards are designed to hold you low in that turn for as long as possible, to draw that out, to control your speed by through turn shape, right? By finishing each turn and heading uphill a little bit between the turns. The Coiler Contra in particular is made for kind of the aging hard boot carving population who, grew up riding these incredibly intense Burton PJs and factory primes like me, right? And those boards were so unforgiving. I mean, you had to be right on your game to hold that turn. It was intense. Yeah, and there's a whole gang of people that grew up riding these boards. Mostly you can find them on alpinesnowboarder.com. There's a forum there. There's a ton of archived information. There's a ton, well, there's a few dozen. I don't know how many, whatever. There is a great crew of riders there who individually and collectively have a lot of information on how to carve both hard boots and soft boots. This is a real forum where you're going to find expert advice. The snowboarding forum, by contrast, is really the opposite. It's it seems to me, a bunch of yahoos, a bunch of anger, a bunch of vitriol, a bunch of ego that's just getting in the way. It's a bunch of bad advice. This is weekend warriors and keyboard heroes. I am never going back to the snowboarding forum. There was just too much anger there for me. I put out that first rant over there, had 149 views. I took it down. I'm sure there are lots of nasty comments. I will never know. I'm not going there to check. We'll get back to the forums. I'm talking about snowboards. I'm talking about the Coiler Contra, which has been super popular model. It's pretty much all that Bruce makes anymore. It's Bruce Farsava is the owner and builder at Coiler Snowboards. And yeah, I would say his Contra models have set the gold standard for freeride boards, and I would have said about 2 weeks ago that nobody's even come close. When I talked to JC about making these protos, I told him, now we're not copying the Coiler, okay? JCJ Anderson and Bruce Farsava are friends. For decades they've been friends, and I'm sure there's some friendly competition there, but them both being custom board builders at the highest levels. But they actually work together a fair bit, and they've had discussions about the Contra. And JC always believed that he could produce these same results without using the same shape and core profile that Bruce has been using in his Contra. And frankly, I gave JC a chance to find out with these new protos, and I would say he has hit the nail on the head. Absolutely. It's really incredible, blown me away. When I talked to him at first, I was like, look, man, we don't have to beat the Coil Contra. We just have to be better than the Donix, right? There's not that many people have or have even heard of a Coil Contra, so why are we bothering? Of course, JCJ Anderson being JCJ Anderson, that wasn't going to be good enough. I mean, you don't build a bio like JCJ Anderson has by settling for second place. But nonetheless, and I don't want to come out right here and say, oh, these JCJ Protos are better than the Coil Contras, but I will say there have been 3 of us now who have ridden the Coil Contra and the JCJ Protos, and it's 3 for 3. It's 3 for 3. So it's a matter of opinion. It's a matter of riding style and choice. Daniel, I would say, was not quite a fair comparison because I think Bruce made his board too soft. So he was just in Revelstoke. He's chattering out, just getting too much speed on these extreme steeps. And when I put him on the proto, he was just like, yeah, just fell into the smoothness, and it just makes it easier. He doesn't have to hold on when you're nearing the maximum edge pressure that your board can handle. But that's just a question of stiffness, not design. That could be changed. Doesn't matter who's making the better board. The point is, these two, Bruce Varsava of Coiler and JCJ Anderson at JJA Snowboards, are pretty much the only two in the world making high-performance wide soft boot carvers. Okay? A lot of other people making high-performance soft boot carvers, but they're not wide. Okay? And then there's a couple other people, like I said, 4 others making wide boards, but they're not the same high performance. It's just how it is. Winterstick brings boards down to the Montucky Clearcut every year, and I have never seen a Winterstick wider than 27 in the waist. Okay? This is old school thinking that 27 is a wide. Now, 29.6 is a wide. 30 is a wide in the waist. Okay? 27 is a joke. For a real carver, you're going to max out on greens unless you're riding extreme stance and making all kinds of compensation. Why would you want to do that? Unless you're riding an all mountain that you also want to go in the trees with, there's no point in having such a narrow waist. And frankly, the wide boards, particularly from Neversummer with that rocker camber profile, actually are very nimble in the trees and the moguls and all that. And that, to me, that's why I ride Neversummer, because it's a real all mountain. All the other all mountains are great for whatever they do, but you can't carve them. They're too narrow. What are we talking about? We're still ranting. How much time have I got here? What are we at here? 22 minutes. All right. I'm getting through my list. What are we really talking about here? Talking about these JCJ prototypes. Yeah, there are 11 left for sale. I would get one if I were you. We will start a waiting list after these 30 are gone, but there are no guarantees. I have only asked for 30. He has promised me 30. We haven't discussed what happens when all 30 sell out, and I just don't know what's going to happen next. But I do know that when my 30 are gone, I am shutting her down for the season. Oh yeah, other thing about the website is beyond feedback for your video, the other thing I'm going to be offering this summer is exclusive content. I'm going to spend the summer creating some video content for YouTube for next season. It will be released first on my website as they become available, but you won't see it on YouTube until like November or something like that. Because I'm already seeing nobody's watching my videos anymore. It's springtime. People are watching mountain bike videos or wing foil or whatever they're into, whatever their summer sport is. But the views are way down, so this will be my last one for this season. End of season rant, I think I'm going to call it. Right, so Pryor and Winterstick also make wide boards. They're not the caliber. They're not designed specifically for free carving. Coiler and JCJ. The Coiler Contra, I would say, is the gold standard, has been the gold standard for the easy-to-ride free carving board. When I approached JCJ, I didn't tell him I want to copy this board. I told him the ride characteristics that I want to create. And those are the things I love about the Coiler Contra. Okay? That's very forgiving ride. Okay? And that means forgiving of bad technique, right? If you're not perfect, don't worry. The board does the work. It's going to hold the turn anyway. Number two, easy on the body, okay? Because some of my JCJs are really intense to ride, and I have found that, you know, a coiler contra in about a 12 meter tuned to my weight, I can ride twice as many laps as I can on like a big stiff JCJ that's way faster. That's yeah, maybe more fun to ride on the best days, but I wanted these new boards to be easier to ride because I don't think everybody out there is maybe as strong as I am. So yeah, you want an easier board, right? So easy on the body, very forgiving. I wanted it easy to slarve and then carve again. If you come into a turn and you feel like you're going too fast, you should be able to just, you know, push on the back, scrub some speed, get back into your carve, continue. That's important. On some boards, you're kind of locked in. You're in or you're out. You know, there's not a lot of in between. I wanted this to have a little in between. I wanted it to be a hair slower, not a slow board, but slower than my fastest boards that cut like scalpels. You know, that I need to turn 190 degrees sometimes on these boards to get my speed under control on steeps. I wanted something, you know, 180 is fine, 175 even. So I wanted a slightly wider track than these scalpel type boards that JC's making for me and for racers. Yeah, so these were my design objectives. I took a few prototypes, but we have nailed it. And now I've taken, including myself, only 3 people, 3 riders who have been, you know, more than a few days on coiler contras, going to the JCJ Proto and preferring the JCJ Proto. I'm the 3rd. Fine. And maybe I'm biased. We're all biased, but whatever. It's at least 2 for 2, 3 for 3 if you count me, are preferring the JCJ. It had to be coiler contra riders. I'm not super interested in feedback from people coming off a fiberglass board, a Jones Free Carver or a Donic Flux or whatever it is. Of course you're going to be impressed. I've seen it already a dozen times. But it's the coiler contra rider who knows what the best boards in the world feel like. That person is in a position to judge this board. Yeah, so is this the best board in the world now for free carvers? Yeah, probably. For a wide free carver, I don't think anything else can touch it. Which one's better, the coiler contra or the JCJ Anderson working title? I don't know. It's a matter of opinion. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Let me tell you why. Bruce Varsava is not taking new clients. You cannot get a coiler. Okay? At the beginning of this season, I discovered he had a little bit of space in his build list, and I started sending people his way because, you know, I asked him, hey man, you've always told me, don't send people my way. I'm not really taking new clients. But then I saw he was taking some new clients. So I asked him, hey, do you want orders? I can get you orders. That's easy. That's the easy part. And he said, well, you know, I'll take orders until I'm going to stop taking orders. So he took a few and then he stopped. He's asking me to stop sending people his way. He loves what he does. And he loves his client base. The list is long. These are great carvers. They are loyal. They've been customers a long time. He's just not taking new clients. He doesn't want to start from scratch. He doesn't want to build more boards. That's it. Bruce Varsava builds exactly as many boards as he wants to build. So the point is, which board is better? Who cares? You can't get a coiler anyway. And in fact, there are only 11 of these JCJs left. So, yeah, whatever. Is what it is. This is the situation. Yeah. Let me talk about why I felt it's so important to bring these boards to market. Yeah, that's exactly what it sounded like. A little homegrown here. We're gonna just mellow out right into this rant. So why? This is due in large part to my experience of meeting riders on the hill, most of them on Napton Twins, most of them on Napton Twins. Because they're carvers, I go out of my way to catch up to them, chat them up, make friends, maybe ride the chairlift together, take a few laps. I give them tips if it seems like they're ready for it and going to be responsive to it. I'm talking about carving tips, technique tips. And very often we'll trade boards. So especially if they're goofy, we'll just swap for a run. And then this is what happens, okay? Immediately after one run, whether it's a JCJ or a coiler, doesn't matter, one run on one of my metal boards, first question, where do I get one, right? And then it's the look in their eyes when I have to explain that neither Bruce Varsava nor JCJ Anderson is taking new clients. And they're like, what? What do you mean? I can't have it. How do you get them? I'm like, well, I am part of a very select clientele. Then they ask me, well, can you maybe ask them for me? And I'm like, bro, if I have the power to get another board from Bruce Varsava, I want that board for me. I'm not buying boards for everybody, and I don't have as much influence with him as certainly as I would like to, that's for sure. Anyway, so this utter disappointment, it's this devastation, this look, this like soul crushing, what do you mean I can't have it, right? It's like when you take the toy out of the toddler's hands and put it back on the shelf in the grocery store. This is why I've pushed so hard, and I pushed Bruce first. I asked JC years ago, hey, you want to sponsor me? Send me some boards, man. I can sell boards for you, no problem. No, I'm happy. I'm not really trying to expand right now. No, it's good. Whatever. And with Bruce, it was a little different. I was trying to get him to maybe sell his secrets, show someone else how to make this board so we could produce more of them and we could get these out to the masses. But yeah, Bruce wasn't really interested either. But I kept pushing because I know you guys need these boards. I see you struggling with your Jones Free Carver, with your Napton Twin. It's like, hey, this is out there. This is possible. This can be done. Just took a lot longer than I thought and was not as easy as I expected. Having the designs doesn't really get you there, right? I can approach, and I have approached Pryor and Winterstick, and they're like, sure, no problem. Yeah, we'll build your boards. Just tell us what you want. And I'm like, well, I can't tell you what I want. I know less than 1% of what these guys know about how to build boards. I can't. We're gonna need a dozen, maybe 20 prototypes before we even approach what these guys are doing. And I'm not the expert. These guys are the experts. So I'm so happy to have convinced JCJ Anderson to build me these 30 boards. These are gonna be awesome. These are already awesome. Okay? Gonna blow your mind. Blow your mind. Whatever. You're riding glass boards. You prepare to have your mind blown if you are on this list of 30 buyers. Yeah, I want to say something else since I'm ranting today. I want to talk about Bruce Varsava. Okay, how did he get so good at building? What makes him so special? Bruce, first of all, has been building boards since the 90s. What is that, like 30 years, more than 30 years probably, okay? But he had a unique technique whereby he would build a board, he would go ride it, then he would come home, somehow peel off the top sheet, make some adjustments, add a bit of carbon, add some fiberglass, maybe sand down the core here and there, and then go ride it, then put the top sheet back on, press it, and go ride it again. And then come home and make adjustments to it again. He's the only one, I think, in the world who has ever done this. Now, in addition to that, he used to, and in some cases still does, he rides the boards he makes for you. So you order a custom coiler, he discusses with you personally exactly the specs that you want for the ride quality that you want for you. Okay? Then he makes the board. Then he goes and rides the board. Then he comes home, gives it a factory tune, slaps a top sheet on it, sells it to you as new. So, what does this mean? This means that over his career, Bruce Varsava has probably ridden somewhere in the range of 2,500 boards that he has made himself. Now, I submit that that is 10 times as many as any other board builder on the planet. Okay? I don't think anyone else has done more than 250. Prototypes are expensive. They're time consuming, right? And then you don't necessarily even have people who can ride them for you, give you good feedback, or know how to give you good feedback, because people like me only have 1% of the understanding of a man like Bruce Varsava or JCJ Anderson. JC has been working with Bruce since the 90s, okay? And with Kessler and with Oxes and now with his own clients, he has been designing boards, basically as he's been racing boards his entire career. Yeah, and he has done some incredible things. He won his gold medal on a plate that he designed himself. designed and prototyped and tested and all this. The board, I think, was built by somebody else, but the plate was his. What are we trying to say? These are the guys, man. Winterstick, Prior, sure, they'll build you a wide board, but you're designing it. Donic, too. Donic will build you whatever you want, but you're designing it. What is a Napton twin, actually? Right? It's got twin shape, it's got twin flex, but there's no specified side cut, there's no specified effective edge, there's no specified length, there's no specified stiffness. Okay? You design it. You call up Sean Martin and you tell him, oh, I want this length, this side cut, this width, this stiffness. Okay, no problem, I build it for you. Now you've designed that board. Great. Are you in a position where you should be designing your own boards, or you want to leave it to a man like Bruce Varsava or JCJ Anderson? Up to you. It doesn't matter. I don't really need to say much more about Donic. These boards are going to come out next year. A bunch of these 30 riders were coming from Donic's, and you will see. You will see the difference. And then for the next year, we'll see if we can get JC to build more than 30. I don't know. I don't speak for him. All right. That's pretty much it on the boards. This, yeah. Something else I wanted to say. I mentioned it earlier. Carving is not that hard to do, okay? But you need the right equipment, you need it set up correctly, and you need instruction, okay? It took me years to figure this out because there was no manual. There was no one even giving me a clue except for Jack Michaud and his like 25-year-old tech articles, which are amazing. Absolute respect to Jack, but they're complex and difficult to decipher at times. So yeah, I worked with those when I was learning, when I discovered the Alpine snowboard form back in 2007. And fortunately, I had other hard booters to ride with, and we had to figure it out on our own, really. And there was some information coming from the racing community, but racing and free carving are not exactly the same. Although there's some overlap in equipment, the techniques and styles are really quite different. So we developed our own style. Now I'm trying to bring this to you, make it easy, right? I've given you the instruction videos. I'm showing you the website where you can get your risers, your stiffeners, your straps. You can get information on how to set this up, on the kind of canting and lifting you need, and get the boards you need, right? So yeah, I'm trying to make it easy for you guys. Carving is not that hard. Daniel, at the beginning of this video, what are we at here? Daniel, at the beginning of this video, is perfect proof of that, okay? I met him about a year ago, closing weekend last season, and he was at that point an intermediate level carver. He said to me himself this week that he felt at that point he was not even up to Martina's level, and that's from last year. That's the video I showed her on the Never Summer and the technical analysis stuff. And now he's destroying corduroy on big boards, right? And I've only ridden with him 5 times. Since then, a couple tips each time. More than that, showing him what was possible. What was possible was speed control, right? And he's telling me, the videos don't capture the intensity, the speed control, the skill, the speed, And I'm like, yeah, I know that. It's been really hard to capture what I want on video and to get really video that I'm satisfied with. That's why I have like an hour of this like never before seen footage that I'm sharing with you right now. Right? Because it just never really captures what I want it to capture. What are we talking about? Carving is not that hard. You need the right equipment. You need good instruction. I'm bringing it to you. Go for it. So I say that in this context, okay? I caught a lot of backlash from that previous rant and from that little trolling in the intro of the Secrets Part 1. Some backlash because it sounds like I'm being really arrogant. But, I'm putting down other styles and whatnot. And, maybe I was at the beginning of that Secrets video, Part 1, but don't forget, I had 400 subscribers at the time. I was nobody, right? So, yeah, I'm throwing the gauntlet down. I'm trying to make some noise, whatever, okay? No big deal. I wasn't really trying to insult anybody. I didn't have a platform. I was nobody. What does it matter if my opinions or if I insult a style? Yeah, maybe I went too far. It insulted, like, entire continents, but whatever. The bottom line is this. When I talk about standing on the shoulders of giants, I'm referring to Sir Isaac Newton and Didacus Stella, who said, "A dwarf standing on the shoulders of a giant may see farther than a giant himself. Okay? So, I have been able to get to the level that I have been able to get to because of the giants who stood before me. Okay? Who came before me. I'm talking about Ryan Napton. I'm talking about Sean Martin, without which those two guys, there would not be any such thing as a wide soft boot carving board. Okay? I'm talking about people like Lars Horstman, Jeremy Jones, the Angry Snowboarder even. I'm talking about JCJ Anderson. I'm talking about Bruce Varsava. I'm talking about Jack Michaud. Okay? So, yeah. So I stand on the shoulders of giants. And gratitude to all of you and so many others who really have helped set the stage for me to come in here and sell 30 boards in like 2-3 weeks. Okay? Because JC didn't believe it was possible and I wasn't so sure myself. But it has been 13 days since I launched this website and announced these boards, and I have sold 19 boards, 11 are left. I think I'm going to publish this video tonight and those are going to evaporate and that's it. Yeah. So, thanks to all you guys for making this possible. Let's address here, since we mentioned Jack Michaud. Let's address the Alpine Snowboard Forum versus the Snowboarding Forum. Okay? Which may sound very similar, but they are not. There is so much anger, so much ego, so much bad advice on the snowboarding forum. It's just trolls, anger, vitriol, and I couldn't believe it. Even before I even posted a single thing ever in my life on that site, before I even looked at that site, there are haters calling me out by name, saying stupid things. Like, oh, I'd like to see you ride moguls, or I wonder what you would do with these backcountry splines in Alaska. It's like, what the heck, man? What the heck? Where did that even come from? Why would you even think of that? Anyway, doesn't matter. I'm not addressing these trolls particular anymore. I have said what I had to say to them, and just if they're still listening, or any of them, just so you know, I will never check back on the snowboard forum. I am done with that. You put all your comments, all your reactions, I will never see it. I will never know about it. I have the last word in my mind. It's over. I'm not engaging you anymore. Look, I am not Jeremy Jones. I am not Travis Rice. I am not JCJ Anderson. I am not a professional snowboarder at that level. But for directional, soft boot snowboard carving on steeps, I am unmatched. And not because I'm so great, but because I have the equipment. How did I get here? I had the time. I had the resources. I had the physical strength. I knew what a great turn should feel like. And let me tell you, it is the most incredible feeling. This is what I live for. This is my passion. That, those who know, know. And of course, they want a better board. They want a faster, more G-force. And if I troll a little bit, okay, yes, I accept that. I did my share of trolling too. And yes, I'm stirring the pot. I'm being a little disruptive. I worked hard to build this platform so that I can be disruptive, because the industry needs some disruption right now. Let's find out if it works. Check back in 3 or 4 years. Let's see who's competing to make the best canted risers. Let's see these companies putting money into prototypes and competing to make the best carving boards. Then we all benefit from that, don't we? So how about some gratitude and respect? Let's take the temperature down at the snowboarding forum. Look, I only have 2 tricks, toe side and heel side. And these 2 tricks I can do at least as well as anybody in soft boots. You want to see exceptional backcountry freeriding? Go film with my neighbor. You want to see more freestyle tricks mixed in with all that? Follow Dino Mike. I ride at an expert level in most aspects of snowboarding, but it's only in carving that I'm elite, and in soft boot carving that I'm one of only a very small handful of elites. So that's what I'm showing you. That's what I'm trying to teach you how to do, and yeah, that's what I'm trying to get you the boards for. I have had a bunch of requests, but no, I'm not going to learn new tricks, and I'm not going to break out the camera on additional days to prove anything to anyone. Anyway, the Alpine Snowboard Forum, by contrast, is an excellent place. It's a really welcoming community. You don't see anger, you don't see ego, you see carvers helping carvers. Okay, real deal. And that's what I'm trying to model with carversconnection.com. Okay, and so far it's been pretty good, but we have a long way to go to build up the kind of archives and the kind of user base that Alpine Snowboard Forum has. And if you're riding hard boots or you're interested in hard booting, definitely check out the Alpine Snowboard Forum. What is it? The forum at alpinesnowboarder.com. Yeah, if you're more into soft boots, I invite you to my forum. And, you know, there are still people, even like up to right now, today, debating Jack Michaud's old tech articles, crossover, cross under, cross through. Someone actually just republished these recently in this season, and they're making a bit of a resurgence. These are great articles, but they're a little bit out of date. They refer more to racing techniques than free carving techniques, and they're mostly designed for hard booters. Nothing wrong with them. My take on how to carve is different. Yes, I started, 18 years ago with Jack Michaud's articles, but I've come a long way since. So my stuff is original. It's new. It's a different take. There's a lot of crossover between what Jack is trying to say, what Jack is trying to teach, and what I'm trying to teach. But we have different vocabularies, different ways of expressing, and different mediums as well. His is all written with some photos. Mine is video format with demonstrations. Yeah, thought it was time to modernize that stuff. Original curriculum might be a bit of a stretch. It's original at least in the way it's organized and broken down. There's definitely some new vocabulary and some new body movements, some new drills in here. But all this stuff is based on the collected knowledge from the hard boot community at alpinesnowboarder.com. And in particular, thanks to Jack Michaud for writing those tech articles way back. Thanks to the Dreadman and Jordan Michon for really pushing me to define, refine, and even defend this curriculum. And also thanks to all the people that I've taught and just offered tips to here and there. Your feedback has helped me become a much better teacher. What am I talking about? I'm talking about these kids, these weekend warrior keyboard heroes on snowboarding forum who are trying to interpret what Jack Michaud meant 20-something years ago when he talked about the cross through versus the cross under versus the cross over. And I just want to tell you guys, go to Jack's forum and ask him directly. Okay? That's what it's there for. And if you want to get details from me, you want to see my exclusive content, you want me to analyze your video, you want to ask me questions or ask questions to the community that I am trying to build over here for soft booters, soft boot carvers, it's carversconnection.com. I'll be pretty active all summer. I'll be analyzing your video and posting exclusive content, as I said before. Okay, what are we at here? 45 minutes. Let's see, that's been said. There's really only one thing left on my list, and that is to address the industry. And yeah, here I'm going to call out Jeremy Jones in particular. And I'm picking on him because, frankly, he is the guy who is the ex-racer who knows how to carve, who will use a posy stance 15 and 30 degrees, 30 front, 15 back, posy, right, on a carving day. And he's about the only star in the industry that'll do that, right? Ryan Napton's the other famous carver, he's riding duck's dance. Yeah, and who else is there, right? Pushing Posy Posy. It's me and Lars Horseman, and you know, I mean, in North America at least, and you know, we don't have anywhere near the reach and the audience that a guy like Jeremy Jones does. So, Jeremy Jones, sorry, bro, but I'm picking on you today. As the face, I'm going to put you as the face of the industry, and most of my complaints are basically aimed at the industry, but some of them, you know, are also kind of pointed more directly at you. Let's talk about the free Carver 6000. Come on, man. Now, I haven't ridden that board yet, and I really should, and bro is supposed to bring it up for me next week so I can have a test ride, but I have had another 6-meter board, a prior fissile, and I can tell you I couldn't stand it from the get-go. 6 meters is not enough. That's not a carving board. What are you even thinking? I couldn't even get the turns I want to get in powder on the fissile. Like, it's just way too tight. It's not going to hold the kind of speed, the kind of arcs I want to make. Not even close, not even in the ballpark. So what are you thinking, Jeremy Jones? You invent the free Carver 6000, and you're trying to market these to people who want to carve? What is this free carver? What are you going to carve with a 6-meter side cut? Like, I'm thinking it's the little slalom course that they set up for kids by the magic carpet, right? I can't rip a turn on the 6 meters. Ridiculous. You're not even in the ballpark. So what I'm saying to you, my message to you, Jeremy Jones, is come on, man, come on. Build people a real carving board. My message to the industry in general is that these boards are too small. They're too small, they're too soft, they're not even close. They're fine, beginner, intermediate, fine. And you want to just keep throwing boards out at that level, then do it. But you left a massive gap for the expert and elite level carvers. You're not making any of the gear that they need, even though you're saying that you are. So I'm giving them the gear they need now, and that's how it is. Jeremy Jones, you want to get in touch with me and or JCJ Anderson and start mass producing real carving boards, that's awesome. In the meantime, at least make a free Carver 12,000 and stop marketing these as carving boards, man. These are all mountain boards, and you know it. Even in your video trying to show how well these boards carve, you're dropping off the side into the rough mogul steeps because there was a little bit of powder you wanted to hit. And you were amazed at how well this board handled down there, weren't you? That's what it seemed like in the video. Why? Why were you so amazed? Because you thought that an all-mountain, that a free ride board should be softer. You thought, oh, this 9,000, this is a big stiff board, and this is way bigger and stiffer than anything else anyone else is making, so this is just not going to handle in the rough, right? This is not a free ride board. Guess what? That free Carver 9000 is a free ride board. That's an all-mountain board. It's not even in the range of what real carvers consider a carving board. So, drop the 6000, call it something else, come out with a 12, talk to me, talk to JCJ, let's get you in the right direction, right? Somebody who wants to build 1,000 boards a year, come on. The market is wide open. Yeah, and I also saw you carving that free Carver 9000. And I gotta say, that was incredible. That was some impressive riding. I mean, you are pushing the limits of that board, way beyond the limits of that board. You are just holding on to all that chatter with your strength and smoothing out those turns. I mean, that's incredible. That you are a professional athlete. I see that. I don't think I could do that high-speed carves on that board. But yeah, come up to Revelstoke on a groomer day. Let me open your eyes. I'm going to put you on a board and show you a world of possibilities you have never imagined. Now, I have my guesses. I have my opinions. And anybody who knows me knows I have opinions on everything. But I don't really know for sure why the industry doesn't cater to the expert and advanced level carver. But, you know, usually when there's questions like that, the answer is generally always the same. It's about money, right? They're producing boards that they know they can sell, they know are going to be easy and happy for people to ride, no problems, no concerns. There's nobody pushing the limits towards the upper end of carving performance, so they don't have to either. They're going to sell you junk, tell you it's a carving board, and let you sort it out later. And then the next year they'll come out with a slightly improved version, and they'll sell you that too. Yeah, anyway, so that's the unfortunate reality of capitalism. And yeah, would that there was a better way. Anyway, yeah, these boards are too small is what I'm saying. Have a look at this video, or any of this in this video here where Martina is riding, okay, or the technical analysis volume 1 of Martina, and you can see that she is ripping Revelstoke Black Diamonds on a Never Summer 160X ripsaw. That's a twin shape, I'm pretty sure twin flex board as well. It's not a carving specific board. That's a board made for a full-size man. She was 115 pounds, Mondo 24 boots in those videos. What I'm trying to say is that board is her size. That board's not my size, not for carving. No way, it's not even in the ballpark. The JCJ working title is more like my size. Anyway, speaking of working title, one of the working titles we're considering is Cherry Bomb. Now, I don't want to be a little too, what's the word there, self-indulgent or whatnot, but yeah, I kind of like the name. We might go with that. Leave a comment whether you like it or don't like it. Working title's not going to go. Mitten Killer was my other my other suggestion. Yeah, Cherry Bomb is probably a little pretentious. I mean, it's not a real pro model anyway. I had to buy all 30 boards, right, and pay for the prototypes. Now, most of these are pre-sold, so I have no issue. It's working great. But, yeah, I can't take credit. I can slap my name on this, but JCJ Anderson designs these boards. I tell him the ride quality, the feel I'm looking for. He does the designing. He sends the prototypes. I give him feedback on those prototypes. He also rides the prototypes. I send him video of me and other people riding his prototypes because he sees so much more in the video than I even understand or that I can express in words. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'm bringing him to market, but I cannot take credit for the design. Anyway, where are we at here? 52 minutes. Let's talk a little bit about history. I'm going to light this one up though, and I got to take a leak, so whatever, bear with me. It's hard to talk and smoke at the same time. But I do want to talk about my history a little bit. So, about 2 years ago, a friend of mine introduced me to his son. He said, "This is the best softwood carver in the world." And I'm like, come on, best in the world, give me a break. That's not even in my vocabulary, best in the world. But, you know, I didn't take it too seriously at the time, but over the next weeks and months, I started thinking about it. And even over the next year, and I started looking, and I started thinking, well, if it's not me, then who is it, right? And there may be better carvers out there, for sure. And yeah, and maybe they're not on YouTube, possibly. Okay, fine. Maybe they're not on Instagram either, and maybe they're not on the Chinese little red book, and you know all these other places I've searched for the best carvers. And I gotta say, there are many, many people doing all kinds of great stuff on snowboards that I absolutely respect. However, I don't see anybody else carving directional pencil lines in soft boots on really, really steep terrain. I don't see anybody else doing that, and I don't see anybody else teaching it at my level. Now, partly the reason nobody else is doing it at my level is because they don't have my equipment, right? So now that this equipment has become available, I don't know how long I'll remain at the top of the game here, but for now, at least, as of right now, I am hereby crowning myself as world's premier directional pencil line steep soft boot carver, snowboard carver, okay? And also at the same time, probably the world's premier directional soft boot pencil line snowboard carving instructor. I don't think anyone else is doing it at this level. I don't think anyone else can teach it at this level. That's just how it is. Now, I'm making the information available. I'm making the equipment available. So maybe I have another season or two at the top, but that will be the end. Fact is, you know, you want to be the king, you got to beat the king. I looked. I didn't find the king, so I'm crowning myself. Now, you want to come out to Revelstoke and go head-to-head with me on these super steeps on a groomer day? Oh, I would love it, because I tell you what, if there is a soft boot carver, soft boot directional pencil line carver, better than me, and if there is an instructor better than me, I want to meet this person. I want to learn from this person. I want to be inspired by this person. I want to have conversations about soft boot carving at the highest level. Okay, so what you may see as arrogance, me crowning myself as the best in the world, is actually some realism. Okay, and it's not meant to put everybody down. It's meant to bring everybody's level up. Everybody's level up. Let's do this together. Let's collaborate. Right? I'm bringing you the boards. I'm telling you how it's done. I'm giving you almost all my best secrets. And yeah, let's do this together. So if you know a guy who knows a guy, I want to meet that guy. I want to meet that guy, and it's not about a pissing contest. It's about sharing. It's about sharing. It's about this person, wherever they are. That's my brother. That's my brother that I've never met yet. Okay, so by all means, put us in touch. Love to meet that person. Yeah. What else is up? What else is up? I do want to say that the whole YouTube thing, yeah, this all started because I wanted to post video for my bros on the Alpine Snowboard Forum. Okay, but the forum doesn't host big files, so I had to put it on YouTube and then put a link to it, and then link to it on the forum. Okay, so that worked fine. And for a couple years, I was posting video. It was actually my first exegy. That was my first video. I wanted to show these guys what I could do on this exegy because you know, I really like Carl and I loved his board, and I thought more people should know about him. Yeah, that's how it all started, and. Then, yeah, basically last year, Jordan Michaud was living in my basement, and he's a good carver, and he loves to do lots of videos, so he took a couple of videos of me that I published there, again, just to show my bros on the forum. And then went down to the Montucky Clearcut in February, and Ryan Napton remembered me from Aspen ATC Sessions 2017, I think it was. So we went out riding together the first day. He took some video of me. My channel blew up right at that point. Blew up. Ryan Napton gave me the nod, right? So my channel started blowing up. I started filming more content, and that's when I was like, you know what? I need to do this how-to that I've been meaning to do for years, but just never got around to. Yeah, so I wasn't able to get it out till like actually January 20th of this year, but I did manage to get it out, and it was every bit as popular and every bit as needed as I expected. And I've had so many positive comments from YouTube, so much gratitude expressed for bringing people this information, right, for doing that work. And this is why I don't understand why when I go to the snowboarding forum, it's all negative and sour grapes and ego and all that stuff. But whatever, I'm ignoring those guys. I'm very grateful to my YouTube fans, and it's heartwarming when I get these messages, these YouTube comments. Oh, I tried Posy, my heel sides are hooking up. Oh, I tried keeping my shoulders level, and all of a sudden it's working. It's like, how come nobody ever told me this before? I'm like, well, yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why. This is not private information, right? I learned the trade drill, guess where? From a Cassie instructor in 1989. How come this is not part of the Cassie curriculum anymore, right? What happened there, I wonder. Anyway, when Cassie, PSIA, is ready to write a real carving curriculum with a new vocabulary, I am available. I would love the job. I will also be happy to train your level 4s. As long as they're willing to go to a posy stance, I will train them. And then once they can do what I can do, then they can take that back to the duck stance, and then they can teach the world, whatever. Doesn't bother me. But really, the PSIA and Cassie are missing this carving curriculum. And who better than me? Who better than me to write this out and train their level 4s? What are we talking about? What are we talking about? We're being super self-indulgent and perhaps a little bit arrogant. Yeah, whatever. You call it arrogance. I call it realism. I didn't get to where I am because I'm such a great snowboarder, because I'm so athletically gifted. No. I got here because I had the time and the energy, because I came from the from the hard boot community, and I had studied and learned and perfected as much as I could my hard boot technique before I made the switch over. Because most of these hard booters are 10 or so years older than me and were too late to make the transition to soft boots, or if they were too old to be riding the big boards I've been riding. Look, I was riding some of the biggest boards at the cutting edge from some of the best board builders, like Bruce Varsava of Coiler, like Mark Miller of Thirst, like Carl at Exegi. And I'm riding them on some of the steepest groomers anywhere. So I knew what a great turn can feel like. And yeah, that's what I've been prototyping all these wide soft boot boards for. I really wanted to do this in soft boots for so many reasons, but I like the boots. I like the stance. It feels more relaxed and comfortable. I don't mind the width at all. It doesn't bother me. Anyway, I am here because I had a career as a full-time rock climber for 10 years. Crack climbing was my specialty. My core is strong. I used to train a lot for that sport and was able to use that core strength and that sort of kinesthetic awareness that I developed from climbing into my riding. Okay? I'm not going around saying, hey, I'm the best in the world because I'm so great. It's not because I'm so great. It's because you guys, the rest of you, didn't know where to get this equipment. You weren't part of the hardbooting community. You didn't know where to get the technique and the advice. You didn't know how to do it. You didn't know what to ride and how to ride it, is the bottom line. So now you know. I think I'll only be at the top for, I don't know. We'll see where we're at the end of next season, this time next year. But I am glad to bring carving to the masses. And there are a few reasons why I'm doing it, why I have done it and not just kept it to myself. Number one is, well, it's not necessarily the first reason, but one of the reasons is for safety. People don't expect me to make 180 degrees. People don't appreciate the amount of speed that I'm carrying. Okay? And I get in a lot of close calls. I even get in some accidents. 2 to 3 a year on average. Not always serious, but I get in some minor collisions quite regularly. And I want to bring awareness of carving to all those people who are otherwise oblivious and are really causing a hazard. You may think I'm causing the hazard, and maybe I am. But if there were more carvers out there and more people were aware that, hey, some of these snowboarders are going to take some weird lines and they're going to go right across the hill, and guess what? You are the uphill skier. You are responsible. You can't just pass them and expect them to get out of your way. They can't see you. So part of it for safety, bringing more carving out there. Part of it is because I want better gear. I can't be the only one buying these boards, prototyping these boards, okay? I want a cheap available riser. I want a cant plate so I don't have to customize all my bindings, okay? But no one's making it. No one's making it. There's a massive gap there. Okay, I'm filling that gap right up. I'm filling it up with the equipment that you need. I'm filling it up with the knowledge that you need. I'm filling it up with the space that you need so you can get away from the trolls on the snowboarding forum, but you don't have to bother the hard booters over in their very cozy corner of the internet, alpinesnowboarder.com. I don't know where I started or where I'm ending. What are we up to in time here? We are at minute 5. I think that's about all the footage. I think we're going to start repeating ourselves pretty quick here, so let's call it there, shall we? Thanks for listening. I hope you like these rants because these are the easiest kind of thing for me to produce. I hope you found some information. I hope you'll join my website. I hope you'll buy a board, 11 left, and yeah, then I can just reach my goals when these are sold and shut it down, enjoy what's left of my season here, take some time off. I'll be back at you, back with you on the website in the summer. See you out there. Keep those shoulders level and no slarving. Watch on the gondola. Let's go. Moving pickup. Let's go. Go down there. Moving pickup. All right, turn around. Okay.